whether in the liver, whether in the lungs, whether anywhere in the body. So that's all we do, is to cleanse the system and to allow the system to be rebuilt. But in the allopathic philosophy, which is the European medicine, it is to do what? Make pills out of inorganic substance and give you, but the cause of disease is still in you. So you see, isn't that difficult? But it is difficult for them. And now it makes it even more difficult because the whole society, the whole American government depends on those chemical laboratories for huge amount of money. And a black people is going to come and invent medicine from herbs, deprive them of all those billions. Now you know it takes more than a nerve to stand up against a crime and take such a position. But it is necessary. Because my life was at stake. Remember, I was impotent. I was diabetic. I was asthmatic. I was hypertensive. And I was obese. I went to all the doctors. Now what happened? He was a book reader. That's what happened. He read books. See, life doesn't come out of a book. A book is a violation of life. Just to create a book, you have to cut trees down. There's a violation. All right. We don't have to be afraid. We don't have to be afraid. If Sebi, who was arrested a day before I'm supposed to testify in the courts of the United States, downtown Brooklyn, Supreme Court, the Attorney General sent a message to me and said, if I take a misdemeanor, that he would drop all charges. What was he saying to you? Not to me, but to you. He didn't give a damn about you. If I had done that, you wouldn't hear my mouth today. I said, no, this is fisticuff, win or lose. Because my people are at stake, my race, myself, my being, my family. And I'm supposed to take that is like me going to a Caucasian and asking them to stop being Caucasian. That's an imposition. Or to have the Caucasian race to implement in their world things that belongs to our world. That's an imposition. That's a violation. Give respect. We learn to be obedient. A zebra does not ask a horada, how come you don't have stripes? Nature made him with stripes. It did not make a horada with stripes. But they're both equitable. See, we have to begin to understand what it is to be different. Not better, not worse, not superior, not inferior, because you're not inferior to anyone. We just happen to play a unique role, a role that I will explain right now. A bird or plant, you go to get what mineral? You see? Iron. Sure. Meaning that the predominant mineral is iron. But then we go to the dandelion. Or just take the shade grass. Shade grass. What you go to that for? Calcium. It's coded to ingest calcium. So the black race is coded the same way like the plants. Look at the eagle. It eats meat. Not the quetzal. Doesn't eat meat. It eats seeds because it's coded. The flower of the burdock is what? Red, purple, and white. But that of the dandelion is what? You see? But which one is better? They both serve their purpose. So what is this thing about, I have to measure up to a white man? Man, I've got to measure up to nature. Right. I'm better. Because right now, we happen to have the ingredients that would maintain harmony and peace on the planet. The black race. Why? Because we hear that the Japanese have the best cars, right? They make the best cars and the best cameras. Well, what do we make? All right. We make the best medicine in the world. The black race again. You see? When we thought that we had nothing to offer, we have the best medicine. We cure AIDS. depend on now to cure the diseases. The black race. But if you sit in the chair and separate me from you and say that man over there say be pure AIDS, then you know what you just did? Condemn yourself. You have just condemned yourself because I'm you. But look what it would do if we all were to come together and say, well, hold it there now. Since these people at Usha is curing AIDS, isn't it our duty? Isn't it our duty to support that entity? Not me. You're not supporting me. Because, hey, I have a piece of land in Honduras that bear you have seen. All I have to do is go sit down on it and drink the water and plant my stuff and sit there. You can't hurt me. But if you negate this entity today and walk up with criticisms, just remember that the criticism is not on us, it's on you. Because there are many people in this. I'm going to show you something. Annette told me one day of a lady here in Harlem that was very sick. And I went to see her somewhere here in Harlem. She's in a bed, can't get up. I gave her the compounds. It took me $25 in the cab to get there, $25 back, or $20 back, which was 40. And my compound, she said to me, how much I owe you? I said, you owe me $250. She said, well, I'm on a fixed income. All I have is $5. I said, I know you're right, but I don't want your $5 because you need that $5 more than me. But how many of these ladies are in Harlem?
All right.
Are we going to render them useless like the Caucasian has done? All they need is life again, you know. And they need our service. Because the cheese and the chemicals are not going to help those people. Right. They are our responsibility. Those of us that are healthy, they are our responsibility. You understand? Because when we get old, we're going to need you too. Right. We're going to need each other's. So, how do we rectify this? So I didn't come here to talk about AIDS, because you see how quick we talk about it? You see how quick we talk about it? How do you cure AIDS? So big deal. You see what I'm talking about? It took 2 minutes for as they call those figures. 2 minutes. But NYU have libraries bigger than the building that I occupy and cure AIDS out of. Books on medicine that would, look, if you would fill this room. And it's still doing research, but in 2 minutes here, the son of those African people. African people. I hate to call them that, because I don't deal with that, but our parents from that continent, that they call Africa. Right. We are their children. So if with 400 years of eating meat, and eating cheese, and eating salt, we are able to cure AIDS after 400 years of violation? I mean, look, we have got to be some kind of monsters, isn't it? So we are doing that, the black race. So we have to get back on the business of taking care of ourselves the way we always have. We always did. Nobody could take care of us better than we can. Who could do that? Why would we even put that responsibility on someone else? Why would we even entertain that? I mean, that's a violation. Look at what you're doing. Look at what you are doing. Expecting the Caucasian to help you in your health state? Like these ladies I'm talking about in Harlem who are sick, who need our help and don't have any money? So how do we rectify that? How do we do that? It's only me and my wife, Annette and Lori and a few others, Marjorie and Judy and a few more. Just few people have taken on the whole weight of this thing. We made efforts, you know. We made efforts to come to you. But those of us who are representing the white entity deprive you of hearing what I have to say. Like, for instance, I was in Harlem, and there was Dr. Prince and Dr. Justice. And they were talking about something that really didn't make sense. They was talking how they were going to make it easier for the AIDS patient to die. You know what I did? I just couldn't take that because that's when my arrogance comes out. I came up and I said, ladies and gentlemen, let's stop it. I cure AIDS. Everybody did this. And yes, and so and so and so and so. I said, oh no. Is this really serious? Are they really serious? I just told these brothers and this sister that I cure AIDS. And they write it off like nothing was said. After the case was won in the Supreme Court, Dr. Justice called. Dr. Prince, she called. How I was supposed to feel after what she did. You mean to tell me that the white man had to legitimize what is our ancestors for you to accept it? It's really that? I mean, wait, hold it now. If it's really that, then I'm in trouble. At least I'm yawning. How many are yawning with me? I'm just yawning. I'm not awake yet. Because there's a lot of things I need to do. And there's a lot of things I don't know. But at least the little that we at the Usha family have developed and still developing has complemented a few blind folks who were seeing leukemia, sickle cell who doesn't have it anymore, lupus. Doesn't that deserve your support? So today it's not about how we cure AIDS, because black folks always knew that. I met some of you in Louisiana and in Memphis, Tennessee, that know a million things more than I know, but they're just scared. You know, fear? Fear stops you at the door. You would not open that door. You see? And we found at the Usha Institute, the brothers of us who are part of the members of it, found that the sisters are the one that really are the one with the tenacity. The sisters, the woman. Well, that's understood. Male that is in the operation of this institute. I am the only male. They make the stuff. They direct the institute. And since I'm talking, and I'm sick of talking, because after you talk, and you talk about talking, then what? You know, I never liked, look, I'm gonna tell you the truth, and this is the God in heaven truth. I was never gravitated towards men like the war. Never. I would never deal with that. But men like George Washington Carver, yeah, that's the aspect. Because he was doing something. He wasn't talking about talking. Men like Booker T. Washington, men like Garvey, that's who I respect. Because they were doing something. About the other talkers and book readers, I mean, we had enough of that, right? I mean, I've been here for 35 years, and we have read all the books there is to read. But we still, after we read the book, we put the book on the shelf. But now we have some work to do. And the work that needs to be done is not in those books. Not one of them. They cheated us, they taught. I know I didn't spend my money. Because like I said, I didn't go to school and I don't read books. See, it costs too much money to occupy myself and my time with this stuff that didn't make sense. I have to do something. We have to do something. We have to heal ourselves. You don't get that in a book. Because if the healing that I'm doing was in a book, or the healing that the Usha Institute have arrived at now was in a book, wouldn't you have the book too? Wouldn't you have the book? I mean, if it was in a book, I'd have to say, but go buy such and such a book. So it came out of what? A history, a people, a gene. Not a book. Not a book. It came out of you, our mom. You understand? Our mom, our mother. And we're going to give that respect. So we hope that when you leave from here this evening, you would make it very simple to everyone else. What did Dr. Sebi talk about? He said that disease is removing mucus from the system. Well, that's all he said, yeah. All he said. Now, you see, now we've down to basic, isn't it? And after we heal ourselves, all those things that we want to claim we are, that we want to exchange with one another, such as, I'm spiritual, holier than thou, but drinking carrot juice and eating pork chops. Or eating tofu. Tofu is worse than pork. Tofu is 100 times worse than pork. It's going to tear your membranes down immediately. Women get vaginal discharge immediately. If you don't believe me, go eat some. Go eat it. You see? We need you. We need you. And you need us. Like, you know how we felt when the African government of Uganda came and sit with us? I mean, that was like, wow. That is where you really feel your usefulness, isn't it? That you're useful to your family. You're not in the position of healing because it is something that you want to relish on. Because most people tell me that some people envy me. Well, I wish that I could find someone that I envy. In fact, I do envy a man. He's in St. Croix. He does know how to read and write, and he's very healthy. I wish that I didn't know how to read and write because it said that I was less impregnated, isn't it? I was less molested. This man does not know how to read and write. And he don't even, when he receives a letter, he gives it to someone. You want to read that for me? Tell me what it says. And he's not embarrassed. He's using you to read this garbage. Whatever this garbage, it has to be read. So today, the lecture was not really on AIDS, wasn't it? It was showing where we are as a people. Whether we're Muslims, whether we're Christian, whether we're Buddhists, whether we're Shinto, we're brothers and sisters came from the same gene of Africa, isn't it? Right. So we have to go back, and now we have the greatest gift. Remember what the prophecy said? That Joseph was taken to Egypt as a slave, and then he became the king? Well, I don't know if we want to be kings, isn't it? Because what does a king do anyway? Sit on a throne. I often wonder, when did it become necessary in the African chronology that we were supposed to be kings? You know, we hear people say, oh, but we were kings and queens. But just a minute, just stop it. Here is a bunch of people made by nature, naked in the forest. And he said naked, not natural, but without no clothes. His balls are hanging, and he's a king. Now, what is it that this king is going to do for us that we could not do for ourselves? So what in the devil are we talking about? The word king, that's not even black. That came out of Europe, isn't it? Ah, but we go around saying that we were kings and queens. What does a king do? I mean, I never thought it. Where it was useful? A king. At least as a healer, if we all become healers in here today, then we could all march back to Africa. So just go heal mother. And get out of it. I recently was talked to by two sisters about a king from Ashanti that came. And they said that they wanted me to come and see the king. I said, you want me to leave my office to go see this king? The man is bloated up. He's sick. I could look and tell his eyes were very puffy. He had diabetes. He was loaded with fluid. I said, that man, the only way he would be healed by me is he crawl up these steps. You see, kings. I left from Brooklyn to see the lady in the bed. But she was no queen. She was just like me, the underdog. Kings, they crawl because they have not had any usefulness, not to you. Or you could just talk about them. Say we have a stool, a golden stool, and he sits on it. A king now, hey king. Hey, he's the king. Sebi is the king. Now Sebi, what are you going to do? But I just have to sit on the throne and be a king. That's all I have to do, be a king. But what is the king? Where is the usefulness of a king? Does he provide you with food and shelter? No. He just stood on his throne. He's a king. How did he get that? How we ask those questions? Just begin to ask those questions. Ask our anthropologists and go back and ask the historian. How come they didn't talk about the food that we were supposed to be eating? How come he talk about what they were doing? How does he know that? Black people in Africa wasn't doing anything but waking up and going to sleep. So that's all was needed to be done. Wake up and go to sleep. Our body wasn't made to work. I mean, Many of you with your PhD degrees in your pocket would like to be in a situation where you only wake up, bathe yourself, and eat fresh fruit from a tree, and go back to sleep. That's a dream. That's a dream. With your PhD, you crawl out with your Mercedes-Benz and go be in that fluorescent light. And you're going to drink out of the plastic bottle. And you're going to be suited down where your neck is bleeding onto your face. And this is supposed to be what? An advancement from that position? But look at the state of our bodies now. We all are sick on the body. We do not have even the capacity to love. That only comes with health. When we are healthy, now we could embrace. Right? So we're going to heal each other's now. Today was about healing, not with herbs alone, because healing is encompassing everything about the individual. I mean, we need love. We need all the love that we could muster up. I know how nice it is because I make myself available for it. Because it's nice. It's nice to be loved. Well, if it is nice to be loved, how do you think the other person feels? Why not give him that? It makes you feel good. Maybe one day when you give him a little bit now, he may come back and return that to you tomorrow. But again, to be in the state of wanting to love or having the capacity to love, we have to be healthy. So, to begin with, as black people, we have to abstain from the food that we have been conditioned to eat. Stop as much of it right now. I was the recipient of some that you were not. I ate cassava, some that the African people eat. Your American brothers and sisters who were born here don't know what cassava is. No, you don't know. It has arsenic. It's very starchy. It would affect your brain immediately. When I was a child, 15, I had very violent headaches. It meant that a tumor was growing in my head. And when I began to cleanse, I felt the same headache telling me it was leaving. All of us have that tumor. Every black person in this room has that tumor, if you have not cleansed. Don't even be scared. Because the truth, you have a tumor in your brain, and they were quite aware of it. This is what prevented us from coming together. This is what prevented us from supporting Usha. I mean, Usha did not come to do something that wasn't needed. Usha is curing AIDS, diabetes, and lupus, and blindness, and all the other diseases. Isn't that what we need?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we need to see our grandmothers healthy and strong again? So what prevents the community from embracing and helping Usha? What? That tumor.
Yeah.
That tumor. That tumor. Where Annette and I went to New Orleans, and these white people treat us with royalty. Like royalty, I mean. They recognized what we had because she saw it in the Tony Brown Journal.